Hello, everybody. I'm a little bit early tonight because I'm just early. So yes, in fact, I put out a short earlier saying I'll be available at 8, streaming at 8. But I got up here. I've got my thing on here. I need to turn it on. Yeah. So I basically got up here a little bit early, and I thought that's all right. I'll just get the stream um ready to go, and then hit live by accident. So and I thought I'm not going to leave you for 20 minutes. Just get this tucked out of the way. Okay, so this is another Guns of War stream. Let's jump down here. It's another Guns of War stream. And this is purely because we had a very generous donation from one of our viewers, Mark, also known as Thiromar. He's often in the chat most weeks, who donated an artillery piece from Perry Miniatures. So this gun will go alongside the rest of our Confederate artillery, which is the Rockridge artillery, which we've been working on the last couple of weeks. And this is going to be the third gun out of the 4, all 12-pounders, all named after people from the Bible. I don't know, people who write stuff in the Bible. Gospels, is it? I don't know. Anyway, this gun will be named after our donator, as well as one of the historic guns, and that is Mark. So, yeah, this stream we're going to get the last of the gun. We'll get what Rockridge we've got, what Rockridge artillery we've got. We'll get it finished up. And then probably at the end of this, I think this will be enough artillery for now. Because apart from, I've got these guns, I do have 4 guns on the side here yet to be painted. However, for sanity's sake, and perhaps you viewers of the stream might want to see something different, we'll look at doing something different. So starting off, everyone watching this live, hello, welcome in. Again, we're a smidge early, and anyone watching this on YouTube, hello, thank you very much for watching again, or watching it at a later date. If you haven't already, we've done 4 streams previously, all kind of following this artillery paint. So if you want to go back and watch that. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine. If you have seen it already, you could always watch it again. Who knows? But for me, these streams are a great way to get a bit of painting done whilst having a chat with viewers. So it's nice. So yeah, we've done the last 5 streams now will be on artillery, where we've painted up 6 guns plus another 2 plus another 1. So 9 guns. Artillery. Mainly Confederates, but a couple of Union dabbled in there. At the end of last stream, I showed them off because I based them all, so go check that out. And then throughout the streams, I've been showing off my current artillery as well. I've got about 15 guns or so which need basing as well. So that's probably, once these are painted up, the next big push will be... Sorry, I just thought my mic was detecting a bit weird. The next big push will be getting them all based up. So, but alas, not yet. Right, so, I do have, so alongside this lovely donation from a lovely viewer and good friend, they actually donated something else, which, this is a preview, because this will be on another stream. I'm going to stream dedicated to this, so that should be enough to give away what it is. But do you know what? Let's go a bit deeper. Let's be fair. I'll show you. I've not actually opened this box out yet. I wanted to do it for the stream. But again, this isn't anything to do with this stream. However, this is the ambulance set from Perry Miniatures. Field ambulance, which is quality, something I've wanted for ages. And I actually put it on my throne wish list for the channel and Mark was kind enough to buy and donate that to the channel, which is great. Alongside that, I actually picked up some models. Because I was ordering them off Perry's, I was like, do you know what? Whilst I'm here, maybe I'd treat myself, which I shouldn't have done it. But I've just bought some Confederate standing. Just because I plan on putting these on some of my brigade or division command bases and just flesh out there. So I think I might chuck a couple of them on Longstreet's base, for example, or Lee's. So yeah, that's a couple of things that are new. But the main focus today is get the gun of Mark painted up with its crew, finish off the last two guns. I think they just need their hair painting, to be honest, so they're basically done. Oh, maybe gold detailing as well, which I haven't done. So yeah, we're basically there. But yeah. Right, whilst I was waiting for it to go live, I just put some red on this gun carriage. So I've just remembered I ain't got a torch on the... There you go. So put some red on the gun carriage because the Rockwood artillery was red gun carriage. So these guns are more... Well, these are more or less done. It's just the gold detailing and the hello. Hello? Hair. I was responding to Mark in the chat. Hello, Mark. Hello, welcome. This is your stream tonight. Congrats. You thought you messed up the timings when you saw the live. Yeah, I accidentally hit live 10 minutes early. So rather than just sitting on the starting soon screen for 20 minutes, I just went 10 minutes early. So I was just saying about your your lovely donations. So we have, I don't know if I've actually shown the crew, but I've shown the gun off. So these are from Perry Miniatures. Right, here we go. So this is the box they came in, which is 16, ACW 16, which is a running up the gun pose. So they're sort of like running the gun up, which is cool, I think. Because these guys are similar. My other Rock Ridge is similar because they're pushing the guns along. So yeah, I thought it was a cool pose to go for. So yeah, right. Being the Rock Ridge, I want to have a bit of red in there. I think I'm going to go for some blue trousers and greys. Personal preference, so that's what we're going with. So I think I'll do some of the blue trousers first. I don't know where I've put the blue. See anything? Tim, hello Tim. It's a rainy day in Springfield, Oregon. It's a rainy day here in Blighty. Yes, it's been a rainy day here. Sorry, I'm just trying to look for some paints. I did not prepare. There we go. I was actually painting some Warhammer Fantasy stuff the other day, so I've had a load of paints out. However, they are not paints I normally use. So but hello Tim, welcome in. Mark, welcome in. I'm absolutely shattered today because I'm doing running at the moment and just had it a bit later in the day. I normally run on a Sunday and had it a bit later in the day, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could have done with another hour to, or perhaps coffee. Maybe I should have just had a coffee. So yeah. But how is everyone? Welcome in. How's everyone's weekend been? How's everyone's weeks been? Because last time we spoke, it was the Sunday before. And the ultimate question is, anyone working on anything at the moment? And that goes to people watching the stream back as well. Feel free to chuck down in the chat what you're working on as well. Yeah, and then I want to work on the command base for this. battery as well. Get Pembleton based up and stuff. Saturday's dicey, but Friday is pretty good. Back to normal today. Oh, of course, you went out for a social one on Friday, didn't you? So, feeling a bit sore on this Saturday, was it? What did I do? I went to on Saturday. I went to support my old rugby club. So they had a game on, so I went down there and then went out for dinner with my sister and her partner and my partner. So yeah, I went out yesterday, and then today was my sister-in-law's birthday, so we've been out for a roast dinner. You overindulge, says Matt. Yeah, so tricky. Easily done, my friend. Easily done. Yeah, so I went out for a roast, and then yeah, just been chilling for a couple of doing housework mainly. My missus at the moment's a bit under the weather, so yeah, just needed to do a bit of housework, which yeah, made a good start on it. Oh, I say good start, good chunk done today. Finish a bit off after the stream as well. Go down there and finish the last of the washing. So Tim, I've collected a lot of different STLs as well as plastics and metal to have many different poses as possible for artillery. Yeah, good idea. Actually, all my forces. Nice. Yeah, I agree. Artillery's a handy one because there's lots out there, and by painting them up in different paint schemes can make a big difference as well. So I think not that I need any more artillery, because I've got the Studio Historia artillery I really want to pick up. Well, I mean, I have it, I just haven't printed it. I might look at printing off at least some artillery pieces soon off there. But yeah, I really want to get some Studio Historia stuff printed off, and I really want another box of Warlord Games artillery because I just really like them. They were really nice poses, nice sculpts, and yeah, I wouldn't mind picking up some of them. I'm working on a new basing system. It's a raw pain, but when I get the magnet issue solved, I'll be like Flint. What basing system are you going for then? I've just watched Liverpool get beat by Man U. Not a good start to my day. If I watch football, then maybe I might feel the same. You like swapping heads? Heads are good ones. Hats. I've done a while back when I was painting up the Perry Miniatures plastic infantry. I bought the head pack from Perry's, the Confederate head pack, and I was kind of chopping and changing that up as well. So even though it's the same bodies, plastic bodies, you just get those metal sculpt heads. I think that made a difference. Studio Historia, yeah. Rare W for United these days. I'm more into rugby, so I can't really share the feelings of football, but I try. I try to at least pretend I do. I know we spoke about this on the first ever stream. A little paint pot shaker. But yeah. So let's get these painted. I'm gonna give a good few of these red caps, I think. Red cappies. Forage caps. There is a difference, apparently. Well, there's no apparently about it. There is a difference. I think traditionally they just get lumbered in as cappies, but there's a bit of difference. Yeah, I know a little bit about football, but I hear stuff from my cousin about Man U. Yeah. Yeah, the old. Well, my father-in-law watches Bristol football a fair bit. Kind of supports them as well as the rugby. So yeah, most football facts or whatever I get off him. Oh, this guy's wearing a shirt. That's cool. But yeah, we started 10 minutes early, but I'm still going to be around till about 10ish. Right. I have the Iron Brigade STLs from Wargames Atlantic, and I've decreased the size so they fit with Perry's, and I get a lot of mileage out of different arms and heads. So, do they print assembled, or do you print them all individually and build them? Those Wargames Atlantic. Do I have the Studio? Oh, the Studio Historia. Do you mean terrain pack? Do I have it? I'm gonna say no. Don't believe I do. Purely because I think at the time just didn't want it. So you do print it all individually. So it's basically some yeah. See, do you find that's a pain to clean up and take off the supports and cure? I've done it with Highland Miniatures. Some of their miniatures they come sort of deassembled in a way. I think they're the vermin soldiers they've got. They come with like different arms and stuff. So I've done that, which isn't too bad. It's one of the best packs if you want wagons. Yeah, okay, I remember it now. I'll have to double check because at the time I remember thinking like, oh, with all the ambulance and wagon stuff, it looked really cool. And I can't remember if I did buy it or not. I'll have to look. I'll have to go back and look. My Studio Historia STL files a mess at the moment because basically I had them all manually downloaded, and then my hard drive got corrupt, so I lost them all. So I contacted his Studio Historia saying, I bought them off the Kickstarter. How can I get my files back? So they basically told me to purchase the files again with a special link. So I did that, and then lost them all again. So I had to do it again, and it's just they're all over the place. So I don't know what I've got and what I haven't with Studio Historia. This was pre Cavalry release, so yeah. But then I haven't printed much from Studio Historia. I think the last time I had to re-get the files, I think I only downloaded the Confederate files at the time because that's what I was printing. So yeah, I'm not sure entirely what I got. And then I looked at putting it all on Google Drive, but I've got about 120 gigs worth of STL files, and that's going to cost a lot of money monthly to have that much space on a Google Drive, so I didn't do it. So I'm sure one day it's going to go wrong again. Printed. So my Mars 5 Ultra has a small plate, which is the only issue. Yeah, so I had a Mars 4 Pro. I don't know actually, but it had a nice sizable build plate. So when it comes to printing like 28mm mags of war stuff, I could get like 30 models on there. Because I used to have my first ever printer was a really small pace, and I could probably get about 20 models on there, an absolute squeeze, without stacking them, because I've never figured out that stacking method. Yeah, so which was a shame because you couldn't it would basically be 2 prints to print a regiment, whereas with my newest printer, yeah, you can basically get a regiment printed per each print, which is nice. That's why I've rattled through a load of Confederates. I've got a load of Studio Story Confederates printed up, but I'm not painting them at the moment. I started to paint them, and I'm not really happy with my paint scheme. I think I just need to get over it. Yeah. I just printed sailors and marines for the boats. Yeah, those the boats look really cool actually. The little crossing boats. It'd be cool if you were doing like a Fredericksburg game. Have those rowboats. I know the STL files are cheap for what you get, but I was surprised I didn't get bird and sharpshooters in the big special offer pack. I can't remember, yeah, because I can't remember how the sharpshooters came. Was that just from the first Kickstarter? That's the thing, I did it all on Kickstarter. I'm not sure if you did the same or if you've gone and bought the packs, the STLs. But I've done the cavalry Kickstarter and the infantry and the artillery. I did them all via Kickstarter, so I'm not sure if they just gave a bit more with that or what. Hmm. You think my contrast painting looks better than your old stuff? Yeah, I think so too. And this is a lot quicker and easier to do. It's kind of why I stalled so heavily on painting all my old stuff. I've got 2 units of Iron Brigade, and then a couple of the Warlord Games infantry box sets that are literally halfway painted, just sat on the side because it's just such an undertaking to get through that paint scheme, especially when you're doing bulk. Whereas this, I mean, I've started some Confederates, which were going okay, and then I've actually just I had a box of just odds and sods of bits and bobs, and I've basically pieced together a Union regiment in firing poses from some Redoubt miniatures. And being Union, trying to kind of all go in there with the same paint scheme, I reckon you get through them quite quick. I meant to say I think it's better. Oh, sorry, you missed the Kickstarter, but you have brought almost everything ACW related, just a couple of artillery. Okay, so you kind of bought them after the Kickstarter. That's fine. I can't remember. So Jason, when he jumps in the chat, he's been around for quite a few streams now. He's one of the head dogs for Studio Story, so chuck some questions at him when he's maybe next year. But yeah, what I was trying to say is I think they've got another. I'm not sure when the next Kickstarter's out. I meant to say I think it's better. So yeah, thank you. But your stuff is really good for tabletop standard. And yeah, I've preached that really with tabletop standard. I think yeah, there's easily better painters out there than me. But what I'm trying to achieve is a tabletop standard, so something that's nice on the tabletop. But again, with me, it's always been about scale. I've always wanted to do this big collection. I say I've always wanted to. I've somehow gone into making a massive collection of American Civil War stuff. And then when that's the case, you do have to reevaluate how you handle it. So yeah, I could spend hours and hours on individual models. However, because I want to do these larger armies and stuff, I think realistically it's always a lot tougher. So by going I'd say for settling for a tabletop standard, it's helped me achieve what I wanted to set out and do. But yeah, there's some absolute stunning painters out there. Just not for me. And again, everyone hobbies there anyway. So Studio Historia have big sales after they've been around for a while. Okay. What I'm trying to achieve is reachable by anybody new to the hobby. Yeah, technically, yeah, I'm not out here trying to do anything special. You know, I'm not trying to win golden demons, painting the walls. You know, I'm just building my collection. And I talk to the likes of Lee and that, like Battle Bunker and stuff, and like they're in a similar boat where they're like, oh yeah, you know, we're building up. I want to say they're building up Union 2 Corps at Gettysburg. So it's just like, it's that similar thing, you know. They're like, they've got a historical formation they want to build up, and I've kind of done something similar. And then that kind of lends itself to then doing these bigger games because you've got the miniatures there. And again, there's something I've missed out on is artillery. I've never had a lot of artillery, which is kind of good that I'm doing this. And I've never had a lot of cavalry. But then recently I've been trying to do some more cavalry. So I think I've got one regiment of, or maybe 2 regiments of Confederate cavalry painted up. I've got a Union cavalry regiment primed, sat behind me. I've got another box of cavalry that I need to build up. And then I've got 2 regiments printed from Studio Historia. So that's something I'm kind of working. Oh, and then about 3 regiments of dismounted cavalry. So I'm getting there. Right, I've had a hard time with someone in the hobby who are elitist and put others' work down. I think you're going to find that with any... Yeah, I think you're going to find that with anything. But yeah, there is... I think people... people get very passionate about hobbies. And they, you know, it's that thing where someone enjoys something so much that they want other people to participate in the same way that they do, you know. It's I don't know how to explain. Yeah, it's kind of like, well, here's an example, which maybe this makes me elitist, but if I go out and play a tabletop wargame. Ah, Kane, hello, welcome in. Sorry, I've stopped my flow. Hey, Kane, welcome. How are you? So yeah, what's that? If I were to go play a tabletop wargame, I think I would want to. I would like to play on a table with painted miniatures. Recently, I've changed a little bit more now. I'd be more happy to just play a war game because I want to learn. Like, I've played some Warhammer Fantasy with a mate. Now, they didn't have a fully painted army, but because I was really keen to just learn the rule set, I was happy to play. However, yeah, if I wanted to put on a grand epic war game on the American Civil War, you know, I would want my miniatures painted, or I'd want the whole table with painted miniatures. And yeah, like, I think there's people out there who want to see these American Civil War miniatures or whatever it is, painted well and done well, you know, and done with historical accuracy. But then there's people out there who, you know, they might be very passionate about the era and the war and stuff, but less passionate about painting out the miniatures. They just want to play the game and enjoy it. So yeah, I think you're always going to have that. But the idea is not to yuck someone's yum, as they call it. I'm very good, thanks, Kane. Thanks for coming in and checking out the stream. I'm a bit tired. I did a run earlier, and I'm just a bit exhausted. But we are cracking on with this. We are painting the Rock Ridge artillery. So I had a couple of guns spare, some artillery, which here you go. Here's a big announcement, actually. So the last few streams we've been trying to figure out what these miniatures are that I'm painted, because I've bulk bought a load off eBay. These are mainly Redoubt miniatures. I've been doing my research. These are mainly Redoubt, with some Perrys chucked in as well as some unknowns. But the main bulk is Redoubt, and I must say they're fantastic. They're very nice miniatures. I'm really enjoying them. So yeah, I've just done these all with red caps, just because. Why not? When it comes to artillery, and even cavalry and infantry to a certain extent, just having that like cool colour in there just makes it smart. Like my other dudes, is the rest of my Rockridge, 2 other guns. Now they've got a bit of red in them as well, and it just. I probably shouldn't have done all 4 caps red because. But yes. Anyway, I've got distracted. I forgot where I was at. But yeah, these are mainly Redoubt with some Perrys and stuff chucked in of the old lot, which yeah, I've come to really appreciate Redoubt. They are a bit chunky, but which is not a bad thing. But yeah, some absolute stunning poses. And so the other night I've pieced together a firing line of Union. And yeah, these poses just absolutely lush. Really nice. Again, these have just been sat here, so it's just like, you know what, they're sat in the box of unpainted stuff. So let's get them painted. And with this, my new contrast painting scheme just makes it so much quicker. Right. So his shirt needs to be painted white now. Do that. Are you working on anything, Kane, at the moment? I've been doing a bit of, well, American Civil War stuff on Sundays. I've not done a lot in between, but what I have, I'm trying to get through some Lord of the Rings. Your paints are upside... Right, someone's just jumped in. Your paints are upside down. They'll never mix if you store them lid up. Ah, why's that? How's that work out? I mean, I'm just shaking them, which is a pain, but I'll have to try it. I'll tell you what, I'll take one of these paints in between now and next stream. I'm going to leave it up and see what happens. But thank you. Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of American Civil War stuff on Sundays. I'm trying to get through some Lord of the Rings stuff. So I've got like a small Gondor army I'm trying to get through. And then just started jumping back into some Warhammer Fantasy. So I've got like a large Empire army. So yeah, I'm trying to get back into that, get them painted, just so a mate can borrow the army, so we can get him to play Warhammer Fantasy because he's stubborn and weak. I'm currently on a break, but when I come back, I'm going to finish the 115th New York. Very nice, mate. Yeah, tell me about it. I've been on a break for a bit of a while. I mean, really, the streams have what got me back into painting properly, which is, yeah, that's why they're round. They're weebles. They wobble, but they do fall down. But I'll give it a go. Thank you very much, Flesh Cloud. Thank you for the advice. I'll give it a go, see what happens. Tim, you're painting the first Texas. Nice. Oh, I've not washed my brush properly, and it's getting red everywhere. I don't know if I've done the first Texas. I've got to check my phone at some point and find out. I've got my collection written down there because it's all tucked away somewhere. All jokes aside, Valio stored lid down isn't bad. I store mine that way. Okay. Technically, in my paint rack over on the other desk, they are tilted lid down. I did that accidentally, but maybe I did the right thing accidentally. Don't store GW paints upside down, they will dry shut. I was joking. Alright, thanks, mate. You know, I was just being gullible and open all ears to helpful advice, but no, it's fine. I was surprised, but purely because, yeah, Citadel paints are rubbish lids. So, yeah, I'm not surprised they were just dry shut. And you replace them. That's with the layer paints anyway. I'm not so sure of the contrast paints. I don't know if they survive a bit longer, but yeah, so a while ago I basically shifted away from Citadel and started going to more like Valio and that, because yeah, like they just never quite click down properly, and then you just come back to it and it'd be dried out, and you'd be like, just like buying so much paint because they're just drying out. Which was a pain. The first Texas in Frox coats. Yeah, was it on the stream we were chatting about that? I think someone came in, or someone was. I was having a conversation with someone, and they were talking about frock coats for Confederates, and then I think it was brought up that the first Texas wore them. Right. So we'll do the brown boots and belts in a minute. I'll let them dry. Let's come back to the other guys. Mark's more confused than ever about how store paints. It's not an issue. It's just Citadel paints are just rubbish. Here you go. Prime example. See how like the back of the lid is just like sat up from where paint gets in there. So then when it just doesn't seal properly, and then it will all dry out. I've always liked Valio. Shifted to Army Paint of Fanatics. They're as good and easy to find. Plus, the 1 to 6 light to dark in one colour system is easy for army repetition over long-term projects. Plus, the 1 to 6 light to dark. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a few army painters dotted in as well. Yeah. I'm lucky that my local games club sort of stocks all the paints really, so yeah, I kind of, it's never really an issue to get hold of them. But I've only been buying Citadel recently because one of their washes, I do like their washes, I must admit. But their contrast paints as well, I've been getting them. Right. Oh no, I need paint now. I do like some of the Citadel metallics as well. I started on Citadel, so yeah, it's only sort of recently I've been, the last sort of 4-ish years, that I've been using others. I think it's when I started doing more World War II. Just because like the Valio and stuff like that just had sort of more historic army colours. I think it's when I was doing my World War II 50mm project. That yeah, you end up like actually they had some really good colours, which you can kind of get in the Citadel, but it's just not really. It's like Valio and Army Painter have got like 20 different colours for olive drab. It's like that. It gets a bit in depth, which is good. Yeah, it's kind of like Citadel does a good range of paints, but I feel like sometimes if you want those sort of in-betweeny paints, that's where these other larger ranges come in. Gold, right. But yeah, we're just going to rattle... Ooh, tell you what, let's paint this black first. I'm going to rattle through this artillery crew and try to get them all done tonight. So what time is it? 8:30. We've got plenty of time. And then what I'm going to do at the end of the stream, I'm going to check a poll up on the channel, and we'll decide what stream we're doing next. Although we do have Mark's donated field ambulance from the Perry Miniatures, which I'm more than happy to do next stream. We can have a think about it. Decide. I'll put it to you guys, see what you want to see. The fun of World War II authentic colour arguments from Valio fans. No, it's 1.2% darker than that paint. That's the wrong green, it's more blue and all that. I always love reading it on forums. Yeah. It's that famous picture of like German uniforms, right? So I painted mine grey, right? And then it's the whole big no. They're not grey. They're more grey green. But then there's like this famous picture of like basically like 40 different German army uniforms all laid out next to each other, and every single tunic was a different colour. Like one was a bit darker, one was a bit greener, and it's just how, you know, basically paint what you want, do it the way you want. But that's just me being tabletop standard again. Right, gold. That's what we're doing. I thought I'd get that on that artillery piece. This one here, get that black on that artillery piece ready for the dry brush of gold. And in the meantime, I was going to unblock this the other day. I need to get some more spears because... Oh, that's blocked out. Where's that blocked out? Oh, it's just... It's just splurted everywhere. I was going to say it's had a black fart, but... what was I saying? Spears, yeah. So I've bought these from North Star, which are like their little brass rod spears. And that's what I've been using. So I was just reading a message. Yeah, I've been using these as the poles for the flags. And I've run out, so I need to get some more. But I don't know if anyone else uses anything different or not. Tim, yeah, I remember the first Texas. Yeah, I do remember now. Now you said it, you put magnets in the bottom of the bases. So, Charlie Foxtrot does magnet trays and stuff. I don't know if you've looked at stuff like that. Spears or the pikes? Well, yeah, I guess this is probably a pike, isn't it? In fact, it's very similar to the First Corps English Civil War pikes, so maybe that is it. But yeah, it's I don't know how long it is. I think it's 100mm long, and it has just flattened tip, so it looks like a spear. But I basically cut them down and use them as the flagpoles for my troops. So I can get some of them, or North Star do a pack of plastic spears, which I could get. But then they look a bit more spear shaped at the head. I don't know if that would work for flagpoles. I don't know. Maybe I just have a go. Maybe I give it a go. I'm painting the shirt buttons brass again. I know we kind of went over it saying that they would probably be wood, but... or tin. I just really like the look of the gold detailing. That's why I like doing the buttons gold. Right, well, no. They're almost done. I'll do their hair in a sec. Yeah, I'm a bit knackered today. Big long weekend. Yeah, I was kid-free last night, but still just managed to have a rubbish night's sleep. And, yeah. Sucks. And then we're back to the grind tomorrow. let's do the hair colour. I think I'll just do it on the same. See what's going on here a sec. Oh, what's going on? All right. Get the hair done on these guys, and then it's just a matter of washing the metallics and going back in with the gold and just picking out a bit, and then they are done. And then it's just Mark's gun paint. Which I'm hoping we'll get the crew finished in time. It's another thing, Tim, talking about, you said about my contrast painting being a bit better than my old paint scheme was, this is just so much quicker. You know, I would, for example, if I was painting hair on my old paint scheme, then, and again, I do it quick, but you paint the brown, let it dry, then come back in with a wash it. Whereas now, you kind of do them both at the same time, so. Yeah, Tim, so question, I want to reduce the impression left from the magnet hole. I've bought forest wire and drilled the hole in the bottom of the figure's head and placed the wire in. Yeah. Place the bottom of the head. I'm not sure what the question is, sorry. I want to, let's get him painted. But the principal magnet sheet is not strong enough to keep the figures in place. Oh, I see what you're saying. Have you, so if you're putting magnets on the miniature, instead of using the magnet sheet, you could just use some metal sheet. Is that potentially an option? Oh, this guy's got a moustache I missed. Another thing as well, I used to do different hair colours. Oh, I see. You can't write anything in one go. Yeah, I used to do different hair colours as well, but that is quite time consuming, and it's something I've stopped doing. Maybe I mean, what I've done recently with my contrast paint is do a brown and a black hair. Only because my yellow is currently MIA. Someone borrowed it. My yellow contrast. Tim says, is that to do with the metal sheet on the bottom of the box? Is that what you're on about? Is this for storage, I assume? Or is this for the movement tray? But yeah, if you use like metal rather than the magnet sheet, that might be a bit better, do a better job. Because yeah, the magnet sheets could just be a bit weak. These poses are great. Especially like that facial hair and stuff. Cool big beard on him. I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to find a game to get these boys out. I have just been invited to a game around Christmas time, so I have to see what we're doing. If it's going to be American Civil War, then maybe I can give these boys a run out. So my Confederates, I've got a good amount of artillery now. When I was doing a lot of my artillery a while back, they were all Union. So yeah, I'm kind of catching up now with these. Yeah, these sculpts are packed full of character, which is lovely, as they should be. Okay, the florist wire is working well with the magnets. Well, it's trial and error, then, isn't it, my friend? See how you get on. See how you get on. I've not done it myself, so I can't give much advice, I'm afraid. Those guys are ready to be based, more or less. Oh, no, I haven't actually done the main people holding the guns. This is so hard to describe. I'll shut up and send pictures. Yeah, send a picture, mate. I think, yeah, you're right. It might be a bit easier to understand that way. Also, my brain's a bit frazzled from a long weekend, so I'm probably not understanding it right anyway. Could be equally me, just not interpreting well enough. Alright. Those Rockridge boys. Those boys from the Rockridge Artillery. Yeah, I definitely know some of these miniatures are from First Corps as well. I know that. It's just nice to know we've rescued some miniatures off eBay and put them into service. Let's go fight the Yank. Billy. No, what are they called? Johnny Reb and Billy Yank. Right. Right. This is. It's going to be looking at me in the face, isn't it? This paint, but I just ain't going to be able to see it. Not that one. Not that one. Right. My fault for having all my paints just scattered around. I think where I'm painting now is actually my gaming computer, so it's not super useful setup for having all my paints out. If any of you are using contrast paints for your miniatures, what do you recommend for the hairs? Like doing hair colours? Is there any sort of good colours that you like to use for the getting the hair? I've been using just a black or wildwood. There's Citadel Wildwood. What's it called? Yeah, it's called Wildwood. I quite like that. It's a dark brunette. Right, we're getting there. They've all got neckties, which is it's fine. So I might give them a button up. I got spoons. Gore Grunter fur. I do have Gore Grunter fur somewhere. Could give it a go. Oh yeah, I got it right here. Yeah, I could give it a go. Griffhound Orange for redheads. I use this Fire Giant Orange for one of my redheads earlier. I say earlier, a while back. So yeah, give it all a go, I think. Right, I'm just going to paint this guy's shirt here. This Agaros Jeans, which is actually what I'm using for my button ups, but kind of stuck where I'm just everyone's shirt it just becomes white. Let's paint their shirts white, but Nasdaq yellow for blondes, red. Yeah, one of the yellow contrast paints. I've lent it to a friend because they were painting up the model and they didn't have a yellow, so I said, "Oh, you just borrow it." But that's what I was using for my blondes. Depends on the mix of the paint. You get different results. Yeah, very true. Very true. Right, what do I do with these guys next? Let's do the browns. Wildwood at the moment for me is just one of my favourite contrast paints. I use it for everything. I use it for everything. All their boots, and then I'll come back with a finer brush and do the belts. Yeah, another trick I think which I do for my painters, my Confederates. I always give them brown boots, and my Union black. I don't know why. Just did. Don't know if it's historically accurate or not, but Good dokes. Oh yeah, I did see my phone light up. Tim, I'll check it out now. Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, that's pretty in depth, Tim. That's pretty finicky. Yeah, I'm not sure what the answer would be for that. So I'm using this paint and then I'll close that. Yeah, I don't know. All I can say, I think, is best of luck. So yeah, you think the wire, you attach the wire to the mini and the wire then can magnetize. Is that what we're saying? What's your thinking behind the basing on that then? How come you're choosing to magnetize the individual to a multi-base? Is that just so you can run in different systems, or is that the casualty removal? It's a nice, if it's casualty removal, it's a nice idea. Very nice idea. Just quite finicky, I think. And yeah, apart from making the base deeper and putting a magnet on the foot of the miniature and having it sunken into the base, I'm not sure how I would do that. Or apart from having an absolute microscopic magnet and putting it into the foot of the miniature, I'm not sure. I know they do pretty small magnets, but I don't know if they'd be that small. Right, any other chaps with belts? You can't see his. Alright. That's your first test base. Okay. Alright, go. My phone's pinging up about an eBay auction that ended about an hour ago, and it keeps telling me about it. Oh, fussback. You don't like the holes that are left. No, I get it. Tricky one. Ah, what's this? Da, 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 ba, da. Just editing something a sec. I've misspelled a title of one of my videos and someone's just commented saying, "You've messed up." Right. They look going for it. Oh, I'm looking forward to it then. But I mean, I think I like anything, it's like it does seem quite a lot of effort, but it will definitely be worth it. It'll pay off. Right, so let's put some flesh tones on these guys. Nope, I haven't done the black rims. That's got to be done next. Let's just do their cap rims, and then we'll then be ready. These don't take too much time at all, which is nice. Let's figure out what I'm. They've also 3 of these gunners have neckties on. So I need to think of what colour I'm going to do them for. I could just do them all in red. After all, they are artillery. Oh yeah, why not? Let's do that. Let's just paint red. It's another one of that I really like to paint. It's this Blood Angels red from Citadel. It's got a really nice colour to it. Yeah, the crew that's running out of the gun. It is nice, isn't it? It's a nice pose. Yeah, it's either that or like the firing of the gun. I quite like pose wise. Right, now there's paint go red going everywhere. So, right. Run out of water. We're only halfway through. Right. So I just need to touch up this guy's white shirt and then paint his skin. Do that quickly now. Wheat's tigers, yeah, that'd have been good actually. Or even some of the Zouaves, I think would have been perfect for it. Cool. So we're almost there. Let's go. When the flash goes on, it stands them out a little bit more. Right, place this. Come on, 2 minutes. Right then. So let's put these aside a minute, and then I'm going to go in and wash. Use my non-wash on the metallics here, and then I can just finish them off. I just wash this canteen strap a minute because it is quite bright. Just wash, brings that down a little. Apply a bit of a wash to the bottom of this frock coat. Blood Angel red just flows nicely. Have you ever found a white that flows well and gives coverage? Have I ever found? No. No, I haven't. I'm using this white at the moment, but purely because I don't know. I'm not sure why I picked this up. Yeah, I just don't water down my whites. I don't give them any medium, nothing. I just try use them flat out. But then I don't. There's nothing I'm really painting white at the moment, apart from with a contrast. So yeah, if I'm layering, I'll bring them out slightly. But yeah, if I'm using contrast stuff at the moment. So. Right. They can sit there and dry. I wonder if we get the bases over. I didn't do the gold buttons on these guys. I keep forgetting about these gunners. It's annoying. Could have left them too. No, we done it. I was thinking of putting them on their bases. Where have I put them? Not losing them this time. Yes, they are. Three guns. Now, really, this leaves. We've got one last Rockridge gun to do. Aha. Bought my pliers because the lid keeps sticking on my glue. And I've got to basically use pliers. It's a pain in the backside. I'm going to be able to do it, am I? I ain't going to be able to do it. Aha, I done it. Sometimes this glue, the lid just sticks itself. I don't own any decent pliers. They're just all rusty bits from the garage. I'm gonna glue these guns down now. Right, where do we want them? Oh, wherever, I guess. There we go, couple of guns on that. There you go. There's no point in putting this other gun on there because I need to do all the metals on it. Right, now I'm going to do the skin. Wherever that's gone. These come into their own a bit more when the skin goes on, when the flesh tone goes on, I think. They start to look a bit more like people. Which kind of makes sense. And it ties the rest of the miniature in as well, I think. I always say it with my old method of, oh, this guy's, I haven't, oh no. So I haven't done the colour on this one yet either. But, so I haven't done it. My old paint scheme was the same, you know, you do all the base layers and it only when you put a wash on it that it starts to tie in a bit and look nice. And it's that mentally getting over that where you're painting something, it just looks a bit rubbish. But you know, you just got to get through that and get that wash on before it knowing that, yeah, only then will it start to look a bit better. Mm. Yeah, they're looking a bit better now. They've got some skin on them. Nice. Yeah, I'm actually not going to be able to finish these tonight, thinking about it, just because I have been varnishing these metal miniatures. So what I'm going to do is wait for them all fully to dry. Then I hit a varnish on them, but it's fine. They're basically done. And they're not going to be based anyway. They're not going to be finished. They'll be basically done. No? Nice. And they need to be, their buttons need to be washed ahead of that. Nice. Ah. You're going to drill some more, put some more wire in the foot, I assume. Yeah, nice one, Tim. You have to show me when they're when it's all base. It's all four of them are on the base and see what it looks like. That'd be nice. Right, I'm stalling a bit now. Let's try pick it back up again. Try the sponge on here. So done. No, that's done. That's done. So let's do the metallics on these now, which will be metal lead belcher. Just for the rammer on the rod. And gold buttons. Once done the gold buttons, hopefully the skin's dried, the flesh, and I can do the hair. Very good. Right. Probably dry brush the gun barrel, but I don't think I'm gun. I could do. I think I've said this before, but a trick I picked up from Paul Richardson, his YouTube channel, on his guns was basically paint them black and then dry brush them for gold. It just, I know it should be a lot more brassy, but it just gives that. I like how it comes out. I like it. That's what I've been doing with all my guns. Let's give them the fresh paint part always makes them pop. Yes. Agreed, Mark. Agreed. Well, the first two guns are done. Just gun Mark is almost done. The last little bits now. Got to do their hair, do the metallics, and that's it. Well, I haven't done the gun. The gun needs the metallic doing to it as well. I don't know if I've got the strength in me to do it right now. It's just a little bit fiddly, but we need to do it, don't we? It's got to be done. Let's do that a sec. That gives the main models a few minutes to dry. It's only because this bit's so not fiddly, but there's just loads of little metallic bits that I've got to find and end up forgetting about them and not painting it, and then I'll find it a bit later on. So a bit tired tonight, so it's a bit more of a struggle than normal. Right, I know the screw, the firing, so the actual leveling screw, I'm pretty sure it's meant to be a brass screw, but painting this one iron. Please forgive me. Yeah, we're getting there. And yeah, what we do is we just hit this metallic with a wash. I just don't tones it all a bit down a bit, and that's it. I could probably glue the miniatures on the bases now and then varnish them afterwards, because the varnishing's not too much. Just plaster a model in there. Don't know what I was moaning about. It's almost done now. Although I'm probably missing half the metals anyway. You get the idea. That's the trick. All right. So yeah, that I'll do a null wash on those metals afterwards, and that should die back down a bit. Again. These guys are done, aren't they? So let's get them off our bases and on to the big base. That's my glues now. Glued itself again. Yeah. Come on, glue. Stop it. I don't know why it's doing it all of a sudden. Give it a good clean out, I'm guessing. Right, so he's going to be getting his lanyard out. He's got a shell ready. Have I not cleaned up the base on here? Stand up. Again, this guy shouldn't really have his cartridge ready, like his shot ready, but as I was making these gunners, like these guns out of just what I had available, put the gun at the back there. No. He's ready. He's just early. I like the cannons that have the rope on the carriage. I bought some crews. The pole with the wiry doodad that cleans the barrel rifles. Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. Got them from a Swedish. Oh yeah. Sorry, Tim. I think I just brushed past one of your comments earlier about a company on Etsy. What was it? You said you bought some stuff off them. Battle Honors, is it? If it is, to answer your question, have I bought anything off them? No. But, be interested. Definitely interested. Again, whilst I've got a stockpile piled up, although... Actually, this gun doesn't matter because it was donation. So that doesn't count. But yeah, I'm not in the market to buy new miniatures at the moment. I blew this one a little too good. Yeah, it is Battle. It's nice. But the screws are from another company. Oh, you bought some screws. I read that as crews. I'm tired. Yeah? I think you can get away with going between different companies as long as it sort of matches, right? And even that's miniature to miniature rather than just the sort of crews and stuff. What's going on here? So, right. Let's just glue these on. Glue these on and call it a day. Well, I'm not going to call it a day, but you know what I'm saying. Oh, I haven't done the detailing on the officer's hat. Oh, I'm all over the place. But 2 bases done. The Rock Ridge artillery has... Come on. Move them here so you can see. Just got to figure out what we're going to do for the last gun. Probably another Perry, I think. Again, you can get the... I can buy... So when it comes to Redoubt miniatures, you can buy... I think £7.50 for an artillery crew. I think that's cheap. I could be wrong, actually. Don't quote me. But yeah, I remember thinking it's quite cheap for the crews, but they don't come with the guns. Same as, like, Wargames Foundry. Right. How far did I get with these? But I'm thinking I could buy the crews and then just 3D print the guns. I spent a lot of time making sure all my figures from a range of designers fit together. I decided Studio Historia needs to be 110% because of the firearm mostly. Yeah, I've said this lots of times in my stream or channel about Studio Historias. They're very lifelike when it comes to proportion, body proportion. And yeah, the firearms do come across quite small. Whereas I think Perry's, they've sort of scaled the guns up slightly. Sort of that heroic scale, almost. Not really, but slightly. But I think I prefer that, I think. My Studio Historia, yeah, if I could go in there, just scale the guns up very slightly, I'd enjoy them a bit more. But then at the moment, I'm happy with them. So, but yeah, they are. I've broken a few of the Studio Historia guns already now, just because they're a bit thin. But yeah, different manufacturers do different styles. I know Studio Historia have definitely gone for that sort of realistic proportions when it comes to their miniatures. But yeah, I do I think. Oh, sorry, I'm yawning. I'm tired. I did scale my studio story. I've started scaling them up to about 105%, I think. But I'm going for sort of comparison to Perry's plastics miniatures. So yeah, that's why I gone with them. But yeah, hair. These guys need their hair doing. Yeah, I think as regarding scales and stuff, I think in the same unit, I think yeah, I would want to personally, I'd want to try have the scales matching as much as I could. If not the same, I would ideally go for the same manufacturer in the unit. However, across an army, I'm happy to have different manufacturers in there, different scales, as long as they're not wildly out, you know. When I mean scales, I still mean 28 mil, but for example, like first core, in my opinion, is quite bulky. Even with Redoubt are quite chunky compared to sort of Perry plastics, but then and also Perry metals, but Perry's they do run a bit small, from my experience. So it's the great thing about STLs is you can change the scale and also the body shape. Yeah, I've not done much with sculpting, like effective sculpting, but I have changed the scale. Yeah, I've upped the size and stuff in the settings. It's only because I think one of the first times I printed the Iron Brigade from Studio Storia, they just came out quite small. They just seemed quite small. Again, I think it was partly the poses. It was the poses where they're marching with backpack. Just because some of the other Iron Brigade STLs, like poses, they were a lot bigger. So it was almost like it was something to do with just that pose. But yeah. Right. Flesh Cloud. Pointless argument. I think as long as the style matches, big and small dudes work quite well, even in a unit. It looks more realistic rather than everyone being Greg and Greg with a beard and Greg. Yeah, very true when it comes to miniature like height and body size, but I think when it comes to say guns, because yeah, you're right. There is no uniformity in people. That's 100% true. However, guns are more or less uniform. So yeah, having somewhere like Studio Historia where their guns are quite similar scale to the body, then going somewhere like First Core where their guns are just bigger. But it's personal flavour, preference. Go for it, painting. Hello, welcome in. Tim says I like their cavalry casualties. Yeah, some of the Studio Historia like casualty stuff is really nice. Oh, thanks for subscribing. Go for it. Thank you very much. Welcome in. How are you doing? You having a good weekend? Are you working on any miniatures at the moment? Doing any painting? I'm just chugging away on my artillery. We are painting up the gun mark from the Rockridge artillery. And this model set was kindly donated by channel supporter, also named Mark, also named Theramire in the chat, who's just commented. So, yep, this yeah, so this is a Perry Miniatures set. They're running up the gun, so it'll be a bit more once we get them on the. Once I put them on the base, we can show off the poses a bit more. I haven't actually played with them, so I'm not sure how I'm going to have them, but I think it'll be self-explanatory. And these guys are actually ready to go. I'm just going to do the gold details, and that's it. In fact, before I forget, I'm going to do the gold details on this hat. Again, I have put this off. Again, I'm making the most of these miniatures, so I'm kind of chucking what I have on there. But this guy would probably be... Actually, no, he would be assigned to a gun. He would be assigned to a gun. A lieutenant or something like that, I think. I can't remember. I can't remember how they'd do it. I should do my research ahead of these videos, but I don't. But yeah, he probably wouldn't be in amongst the... On paper, he shouldn't be in amongst it. I think he should be looking back. But yeah, we'll see. Oh, I just paint that wrong bit. Probably. Oh well. You squint, you'd be alright. I'm using the wrong paint. That's annoying. There we go. Yeah, I haven't actually... I didn't check the website. So this artillery crew here that I'm painting up adds for one of the Rock Ridge artillery guns. On the Perry's website, I'm not sure if it's actually listed as a specific gun, whether it's Union or Confederate, or if it's just generic. It's probably generic. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully we'll get another gun sorted at some point. I don't know. I don't want to use a Perry's plastic to finish off this set, so I'll either get a Perry's metal or maybe a maybe another Redoubt one. Who knows? So yeah, we'll get the 4 guns, and then we'll have to do a brigade, like sort of a battery HQ where we'll get Pembleton. Either have him dismounted or mounted. I like the scene from Gods and Generals when it's their first Bull Run, when they sort of, you know, it's him riding around on his horse shouting for the artillery to fire. I think it's a cool scene, so it'd be cool to kind of have our Pendleton mounted. But we'll see. Right, that gun's probably going to dry a little bit. They are done. Obviously, what I'm going to do, probably not a stream, but these I'll let these dry overnight and then come in with a varnish. And then they're done, and then just need to be based. Yeah. Tell you what, let's show this off quickly whilst we're waiting. Mark's already seen this because we were chatting the other day. But check these out. So again, a eBay find. It's my officers on their benches. They're just absolutely fantastic. I don't know how I'd have them on the table, but maybe just have them as like a rear HQ option. But the idea, I'm going to have them on the same base, have like a little campfire in the middle. But yeah, they're kind of chatting to each other, which looks very cool. Yeah, I do like it. I believe these are Redoubt as well. Again, something I bought online, but pretty sure these are Redoubt. But yeah, they look fantastic. They are Union officers, which is fine. This chappie as well actually comes with it. This guy here. I've just put him on a... Again, I've just found some officers. I just need to base up. So this guy comes with it as well. He's got like a cigar in his hand, which is really cool. Then I've got these two here, which very much look like Chamberlain from the 20th Main, and then I've just got this artillery officer here, which I'll chuck on something. Who makes them? These guys on the seats. I'm pretty sure that's Redoubt. And then, whilst we're on the topic, I've got some more artillery officer chat, and then these beauties. These are Raven Banner Games, and these are the Fredericksburg officers. So I think this is Alexander, artillery officer. And I need to double check. I'm pretty sure this is is it Edward Porter Alexander? I can't remember. But yeah, pretty sure that's them. So they are dismounted, which is cool. And then I've got the mounted officer pack as well, which is like Jackson, Lee, Longstreet, and then a couple of generics. Yeah, but they're for another time. But I'm excited to get some paint on them. Okay. How do they scale? Well, what, the Raven Banner, do you mean? I was hoping you wouldn't ask that, to be honest, because... Oh, have I already chipped that guy? That's fine. They're small. They are small. Raven Banner, yeah, I would say 25 mil. See, I always understood them as 28 mil, but, I mean, with the Perry metals, I think you get away with it. And if they're sort of on their own, fine. Yeah, I thought they were 28 mil. I didn't realise they were 25. But yeah, I think for me, I'm fine with it. They're fine. They're really nice looking miniatures. They are just small, 25 mil, in fact. Which yeah, I didn't know at the time. But I've been after some Raven Banner for ages, purely because they do the long coats. I like the long coats. So, they'll be painted up at some point, and then again, I've got Longstreet, I've got Lee, I've got Jackson. I've already got them, but it's still nice to have. If you base them separately, they don't look bad. No, exactly. I think if you base them separately, again, if you had some First Corps or Redoubt chaps base to base with them, they might look a bit silly or a bit odd, but yeah, no, I'm not worried about it. And I said the artillery guys, they'll probably be a HQ base on their own, and then the mounted officers. So, and I think next to some Perry's metals, which are scaled a little bit down, or maybe the first box set of plastic Perry ACW infantry, they're a bit small. Like with them, they'd probably be fine. Have you ever seen Grant in a kepi? I'm going to say no. Would he have ever? When would he have worn one? I don't know. He's always kind of been. Those Western generals always liked the big caps, big hats, didn't they? Right. I was in the middle of doing that, wasn't I? Are you telling me that there's a picture of him circulating of him in a kepi? Is that what you're trying to say, Tim? I'm just thinking of all the famous photos I know of him from the American Civil War. Yeah, he's in the hat, isn't he? But I think a lot of these major generals or higher, even brigadiers, tended to wear sort of... They preferred the hardy hat, didn't they? Or not necessarily hardy hat, but that sort of larger hat. Don't know why. Fashion, probably. Big hats. Oh, Battle Honours models him with a kepi. Do you mind sending me a link to this shop that's selling Battle Honours? Is that okay? Because I might check them out. I'm always looking for more sculpts for the collection. And yeah, there's a lot of companies out there that I've only got a couple of things off, like Perry's, for example. I've not got a lot of Perry metals. But other companies offer nice options. Right. Yeah, I'm not sure I do know him with a Kepi, but I mean, I'm not a American Civil War expert, so I'm sure he probably did at some point, but I'm only going off media as well, because I'm currently watching the Grant series, and he just wears his big hat then, doesn't he? And then, yeah, because again, like all the famous photos was him either in his big wide brim hat or not wearing a hat. So. Garrison Miniatures. I'm not sure I've heard of them either. I've kind of been out of the loop for a good year or so. So, and because I've got so much backlog, I'm not really shopping around for miniatures at the moment. Not really. Right, let's glue this down. That's another. Actually, no. We'll let him dry. Oh, I'm pretty sure these hiccups. I'm pretty sure these guys are done. Yeah, I'll have to check out some battle armor and stuff. There has just been an American Civil War Kickstarter, hasn't there? But I can't remember the name of the company. Someone asked me about it because they know I'm in the American Civil War into it, and I was in my games club last. And they were asking me if I got it, but I didn't know about it at the time. Right, so where do we want this gun? Because these chaps are going to be rolling it up. And he's going to have to say they're going to have to be a bit further up. Maybe I just put this gun to the front. And he's just running behind. What's everyone thinking? Sundered Union is the Studio Historia Kickstarter, yes. But the most recent, I want to say it's something like Fat Cat or something. I don't know, some weird name like that. Which is the more recent Kickstarter. So I've been told. I've not seen it, but I've been told about it. Union Asunder. Union Asunder. Right, let's get this gun. Battle Cat. There we go. That's what I was thinking of. I knew it was cat something. God, my memory's rubbish normally, but today it's done alright. It's not, but it's done better than it has been. Yeah, I've not really looked at Battle Cat, but someone mentioned it to me, so it might be worth checking it out. It's a something I'm going to check out when I get in bed later, I think, and I'll jump on my phone for a bit, but I'm not going to dive into it now. Oh no. There we go. That's where I got the cavalry casualties from. Oh, okay. I know. Sorry, when you were saying about the cavalry casualties, I thought you were talking about the ones from Studio Historia. Because they've done a handful. I was very close to picking up the Perry Miniatures casualty set, but instead I got those standing Confederates. But their casualty set's nice. Because when I first started collecting, I was doing individual bases. I was like, well, I don't want casualty figures. But I think now doing multi-basing is more sort of you got more freedom to make a bit more of a diorama about it. Right, there we go. This is Rockridge Artillery gun Mark. So the actual barrel's slightly pointing off, but it's because I glued it that way, which is a shame. But that needs to be. But I'm gonna done from white primer to this. I'm not massively a fan of the grey I'm using, which is the best Silicon grey from Citadel, but yeah, it just appears to be quite patchy, which is a shame. But maybe I need to just look at a different grey. But there you go. They're running up the gun. They're running on the back. They're taking Henry House Hill at the Battle of First Bull Run. So there you go. That's the Rockridge. Most of the Rockridge. Was it Matthew, Luke, Mark, and John? Is that the guns? Does anyone know? So we've got 3 of them there. Is he not including it? We've got 3 of them. Is this where we say you've missed a spot? You can say it and I'd believe you, because I can see that there's little bits I've missed, but I just have to touch them up. It's weird with the contrast. It's something you put it on and sometimes it flows well, and other times you just, it has little bits where it just doesn't quite. But there you go. Rockridge Artillery. Boom, boom, boom. And then I've got a couple of artillery officers here. One's holding a flagpole. So these are Union. They're Union. I've got some Confederates somewhere. Sure of it. Maybe not. No. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to make another Confederate base. Great ACWZ US Navy officers and sailors from Artejol Designs. You can buy them through cults. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I've not got much reason to have some sailors or anything. Right, so this is from the stream the other day, but here's a group of Confederates who are going to be my HQ. So in fact, I've not finished his. Haven't finished his. But yeah, I think I'll chuck them on a base. They have got a flag bearer, so maybe we can chuck a flag on. I don't know if the Rockridge Artillery carried a flag into battle. Not done. Why didn't we finish the gold detailing on this guy? Let's do it now, shall we? Voila. So yeah. I'm sure why I didn't do the detailing. Anyway, so yeah, I've got some HQ, but yeah, I might get a mounted HQ for the Rockridge. These are just going to be some generic artillery HQs. Once I get some flagpoles, because I haven't got any at the moment. Need to pick some up. So I've not actually got any in the collection either. I've not got any in my bits boxes or anything, I don't think. Just a crying shame. Yeah, there we go. So we're more or less done now, but yeah, done. Rockridge, more or less done. We'll pick up another gun at some point. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck a poll up on the channel in a community post this week. And basically, it's just gonna put it out there, see what you guys want to see for the next stream. Whether we do artillery, HQs, infantry, or cavalry. If we want to do infantry, that's going to be finishing off some Warlord game stuff, just because I don't feel right painting up anything else until I get that Warlord game stuff out of the way. So yeah, we've got the Warlord games Zouaves, as well as their advancing, like charging infantry, and then I've got the... I can't remember if I painted up the Confederates. No, I did. So yeah, we've got those two to paint up, and then I've got some Redoubt firing line Union, which we can paint up, as well as some Studio Storia Confederates that I'm working on. So we've got that for infantry. Cavalry, we've got mounted periplastics, and we've got some mounted Studio Historia Texas Lancers, as well as the 1st Virginia Cavalry. And then HQs, that's going to be a bit more of a mix-up of just trying to get my brigade and divisional bases sorted. So it might be painting some officers, banners, stuff like that, but just tried to get some more, yeah, brigadier or divisional commanders based up. And I'm still trying to figure out that idea. I think maybe for like a brigade base, I could use a 60mm base. Have a couple of officers on there mounted. Maybe divisional and army 80mm. Because it'd be nice to have lots on there. But I don't want it to be too cramped. And at 60mm, you might get a mounted officer and a couple of people on foot on there, and it might not look too cluttered. But really, I want an excuse to get more flags on the table. So the brigade and the divisional, I want to have a standard bearer with them. So maybe the 60mm base isn't going to be good enough. Maybe I need to go 80. So maybe I'll order some of them in the week and get them there. Then we can at least check them out. So that's what we would look at, and then we potentially have the option to carry on with some artillery. But I've done what I've wanted to for now. So we do have some more artillery to paint up. We do. We've got some artillery officers as well. But yeah, we've for the meantime we're sort of done with artillery. And then yes, we have Mark the donation from Mark of the field ambulance. So I'm not sure what that could be under. That needs to be built and primed. That's going to be a real cool one to do. I'm looking forward to it. Something I've wanted for years. So I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe I'll put that underneath as a little special one. But yeah, so I'll put a poll up, and then that's just open to everyone to vote on. So yeah, but I'll probably sign off there because we're getting close now. So firstly, thank you for everyone checking out the stream tonight. Welcome in a few new faces. Flesh Cloud, it's nice to see you. Painting as well. Let me say your full name. Go for it painting. There we go. Go for it painting. Welcome. Thanks for subscribing, and thank you for coming in. Tim and Mark, pleasure as always. And Kane, welcome over. You know, Kane I've known for years and years and years from the 28mm, well, the American Civil War. He runs the American Civil War Facebook page for modelling. So I'm gonna have to get this right now. Is it 28mm ACW miniatures? I'm gonna check actually, because I want to get based. There's quite a few Facebook pages, but I'm gonna get it right. Just because their page is very good, because Kane, it is 28th. I got it right. Go check him out on Facebook, because Kane's making a massive effort to go in and do photo albums on the page with each regiment of the American Civil War. So, for example, here I've opened up now, and he's just done an album for the 56th New York, in commas 10th Legion, and basically it's just loaded like photographs of uniforms and stuff. So I don't know. There you go. Let me check my phone out. So he's just done that post, and yeah. So if you're looking at units and stuff, and maybe you want some inspiration on uniforms or anything like that, it's a really good resource. So, but anyway, thanks Kane for coming in, and yeah, the usuals. Thank you very much. And what we'll do, so I'll chuck a poll up, and then we'll decide what we're doing next Sunday. Next Sunday I'll be back at 8 o'clock. And that's it, I think. Yeah. So thank you very much, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. And then I hope you all have a good week at work, and we'll reconvene next Sunday. Bye bye bye.